Yo guys, it's Jim and Brian here from DrinkABeerandPlayAGame, and today is our final video in this Mortal Kombat retrospective. Now, we've done a lot of reviews and a lot of top 10 lists, and by now, we think we've got a pretty good feel for this series. With that being said, we're going to count down our top 10 best fighters in the entire Mortal Kombat series. Now, when we say best, we don't just mean, say, the cheapest to use, the best character to use, the one with the best story. We're kind of going with a little amalgamation of everything. We're going for the most well-rounded characters, the ones who just had the most impact on us.
Number 10.
If you've been watching a lot of our top 10 videos, then you've seen this name, Cassie Cage. She is a late entry into the series, just coming in Mortal Kombat 10, but for anyone who's played, she's got an awesome story, awesome moveset, some of the funniest fatalities we've seen, an X-ray move that just kicks ass, and really what's not to love about her? She combines her parents of Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade into one badass character. There's no way she was not making our list.
Number 9.
Baraka. Ever since his introduction to Mortal Kombat 2, this is a guy who has left an impression on the series. With his unique look, killer moveset, and hell, he's a general of an entire army. You can't really go wrong with this guy. Being married to one of the best sets of boobs in the series doesn't hurt either.
Number 8.
When looking back at all the bosses and sub-bosses, this was a fairly easy one for me and Jim to choose. Who doesn't love Goro? Sure, there's Kintaro and Motaro, Shiva, and all those other assholes like Moloch, but Goro started it all. Just look at his silhouette from the first game. As soon as he came on screen, you shit your pants because you knew he was just gonna punch and beat the hell out of you.
Fatality. Number 7.
Coming in at number 7 is Johnny Cage. Now, when it comes to memorable characters, how can you not remember the guy who introduced us to doing killer splits and punching in the nuts? From there, he's been a staple in the series, bringing his quick wit with him. And, let's face it, he gets points for being Cassie's daddy, too.
Number 6.
And what might be a shocker, our number 6 is gonna have to be Liu Kang.
But Brian, he's the hero of the series!
But he dies.
But then he comes big.
But then he becomes bad.
Brian, he's the hero of the series!
Yeah, so he was the original intended face and hero of Mortal Kombat, and the story always revolved around him. And don't get us wrong, we love playing as him. He has some of the best moves. He's one of the easiest characters to start with. That bicycle kick, man, we friggin' love it. But there's something just still a little generic about him, and we understand why they made him that way. We don't deny how impactful and important he is, and because of some of his sweet fatalities like that dragon transformation, he made it on our list.
Number 5.
There are a lot of really cool female characters in this series, so it made it tough for us to pick one, but if we had to pick one, it would be Melina.
Boobs!
Damn it, Brian, they all have boobs.
Boobs.
Alright. Anyway, with a memorable look, a great moveset, that damn drop kick.
And Jim, you're forgetting one thing.
What's that?
She got a great ass!
I've got no arguments there. Melina's awesome.
Let us dance.
Number 4.
Not gonna lie, number 4 is a fairly cheap character to play as. And we all know him. It's Noob Saibot, the ultimate in Easter egg characters, combining the names of the developers, Ed Boon and John Tobias. What's not to love about this character? He has an actual pretty interesting backstory as well, where he was another fighter that may come later on this list.
I smell foreshadowing.
Anyway, he gets resurrected and becomes somehow slightly more badass as a character who can throw versions of himself at you, do cheap teleportation moves, and has one of the most goddamn gory fatalities we've ever seen. It was really hard for us to figure out where he was going to go on this list. But don't get us wrong, we never questioned if he was making this list.
Number 3.
Now, how can we have a list if we don't have a god on it? Especially the Thunder God! Ever since Mortal Kombat 1, this is the guy that introduced teleporting. And he's a big story guy. And he resets time in Mortal Kombat 9. And he's got great moves. And he's got great fatalities. And he's just awesome. And he's in like every game. And he's so goddamn important. And he's got a really cool head!
Ah! Jim, you forgot to mention he's kind of like a mixture between Thor and that guy from Big Trouble in Little China!
Brian, they have cool heads too.
Ah!
Number 2. Number 1.
Alright, and doing something I absolutely hate, Jim and I decided number 2 and 1 have to be a cop-out. Cop-out! We hate doing this, but there's no other way. And this is what happens when you run a site with your buddy. You don't always agree on everything. With that being said, number 2 and number 1 are Scorpion and Sub-Zero. From the very first game, most people's favorite character were either the yellow ninja or the blue ninja. That has gone on for every single game, except for some weird reason in 3 when they decided to not include Scorpion, but then they fixed it with Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. So, whatever, that was just a little snafu. You can argue either way which character is more important to the story. They have a great back and forth relationship where Sub-Zero's brother, who turns into Noob Saibot, killed Scorpion's family, and then Scorpion comes back, kills him, and still thinks he's somehow alive with the younger brother becoming Sub-Zero again. Yeah, it's pretty goddamn interesting. So on one end you have Sub-Zero, who has literally been in every single Mortal Kombat game, and even every spin-off. Once again, except I'm not sure if he was in the Jax game, because we've never played that one. But he's had multiple versions of himself. He's become a cyborg, so he's just always been really featured. And let's not forget, he's the leader of a badass group of ninjas known as the Lin Kuei, and probably has some of the most memorable fatalities out of any Mortal Kombat character in the entire series. Then you have Scorpion, who was not in every single Mortal Kombat game, but eventually in every variation of every Mortal Kombat game, if that makes any sense. Not to mention, he's kind of the poster child for the MK series, since he was featured in one way or another in other games, such as Injustice Gods Among Us, NBA Jam Tournament Edition, MLB Slugfest, and even minor roles in games like the Grid and the PsyOps series. Honestly, you can't go wrong with either character, and they probably have the greatest rivalry throughout all the Mortal Kombat series. It's been well documented, and you really just need to choose a side.
Alright guys, we just wanted to thank you once again for sticking with us through this look at Mortal Kombat. What are some of your favorite characters? Which ones did we leave off the list? Let us know in the comments below, and hell, we can have a little discussion about it. Either way, we have a ton of other reviews, we have a ton of top 10 lists if you've missed any. Go back and check them out. As you can tell, Mortal Kombat's one of our favorite game series, and god damn that was a lot of work to get through all these, but it was well worth it. Cheers, guys.